Please welcome to the field, a real treat, the Centennial Bagpipes Group. Come on, give it up. These guys are awesome. Pepsi Center, please welcome to the floor the crew from RPM Motorsports, accompanied by our wonderful and beautiful Wild Bunch. Let's give it up for the Wild Bunch. Looking good out there. Also the Centennial Bagpipes Group. These guys are ripping it. You gotta love that on St. Patrick's weekend. All right, Pepsi Center, let's get it live. How about those bagpipes, huh? All right, we got to do it tonight. We got to get this crowd up. It's St. Patrick's weekend. I know you guys are touching it off right. So here we go. Third level. Are you ready? Second level. Are you ready? First level. Are you ready? All right, let's bring them out. Number 31, goalie Tyler Bellinger. Number 35, goalie Dan Lewis. Now we got a new face to the crowd. He was acquired from Rochester, six-time All-Pro, 2010 NLL MVP, number 2, Casey Powell. Number 11, John Gallant. Number 12, Jared Park. Number 13, Matt McCall. Number 14, Jordan McBride. Number 16, Adam Jones. 17, Sean Pollock. Number 19, Cameron Holding. Number 20, Ryan Hottling. Number 21, Chet Kozniak. Number 24, John Grant Jr. Number 37, Dan Coates. Number 42, Roy Smith. Number 44, Jamie Lincoln. Number 62, Creighton Reed. Number 66, Richard Morgan. Number 82, Joey Cupido. And number 96, Joel Delgarno. Assistant coaches Sean Ferris, Ed Camus, head coach Bob Hamley. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2013 Colorado Mammoth! Those bagpipes are sounding hot tonight. And now, Buffalo Bandits. Number 38, Curtis Wagner. Number 44, Anthony Cosmo. Number 3, Billy D. Smith. Number 6, Derek Suddens. Number 7, John Haresima. Number 8, Kevin Brownell. Number 9, Mark Steenhouse. Number 10, Aaron Wilson. Number 11, John Tavares. Number 14, Mike McNamara. Number 18, Glenn Bryan. Number 19, Chad Culp. Number 20, Derek Hopcroft. Number 23, Steve Priolio. Number 28, Mike Hominick. Number 51, Sean Williams. Number 75, Jay Thornbert. Number 89, Carter Bender. Number 90, Jamie Rooney. Number 92, Dane Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and kindly remove your hats as we honor our great nation with the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner, performed this evening by Conifer's a cappella singing troupe from Conifer High School. All right, give it up for Conifer's a cappella singing troupe from Conifer High School. One more time for the Centennial Bagpipes group. They're sounded wicked awesome tonight. Also, RPM Motorsports, looking good on all these fine machines, helping out the Wild Bunch.
A St. Patrick's Day celebration. Happy St. Patrick's Day out there to all of you who celebrate the holiday. Of course, tomorrow the green beer flowing here inside the building tonight. Josh Gross, Andy Lindahl, Connor McGahey will be down on the Mammoth bench with us shortly. The Mammoth wearing special uniforms, white with green trim. Of course, the kilt-looking shorts in an auction that is going quite well so far on the concourse to benefit Kroenke Sports Charities. Bob Hamley is the Colorado Mammoth head coach. He, of course, having played for the Bandits years ago. There's Darius Kilgore, number retired by Buffalo. He's the head man for the visitors this evening.
A fiery coach. Saw that on display at the end of the game last week as the tempers kind of spilled over.
Ty Belanger, the Mammoth starting goaltender, coming off Rookie of the Week honors in the NLL. Played well enough to be the defensive player as well, as he's got some green lining his helmet this evening. Jay Thorenbert will take the opening face-off. This is tonight's face-off, brought to you by your local Ford stores. Visit thinkfordnow.com. Ryan Hotaling, who was on the inactive roster for more than a year and a half, makes his Mammoth debut tonight. Buffalo Road Blacks head-to-toe with the orange trim. The Mammoth 12-6 victors a week ago. John Tavares, number 11, all-time leading scorer in the league, is back in the lineup tonight. Double team on Dane Smith. Tavares gets it back. Little swinging shot and a loose ball for Joey Capito.
And a nice block that time by Belanger. Nice save, square to the shooter. Excited to see this young man play. I know they had high hopes for him coming into the season. Some things didn't work out, but it's nice to see that he has finally found a way to the floor, and we'll see what he offers tonight. We'll also see what Casey Powell offers this team tonight.
Grant feeding to McLeod, 8 to shoot, freedom, saved by Anthony Cosmo. Cosmo peppered with 60 shots last week. The scratches for the Mammoth tonight, the rookies Gastaldo and Clark. and no captain this evening. Dan Coates will be the third alternate. Derek Hopcroft with the ball, making his debut with Buffalo. He was with Colorado a season ago. In front, a shot from Mammoth, who slipped free, and Belanger sweeps it aside. Buffalo scratches. Brock and Cotter are suspended. Hayden Smith just activated. Rich Morgan in tight, and second save of the evening for Anthony Cosmo.
I thought that one snuck by Cosmo, but it was the butt end of his stick that actually just shook the goal, got the net moving.
John Harrison with pressure from Creighton Reed. Harrison retreats. Buffalo with the offensive players on. Dane Smith, 5th overall in the 2012 entry draft, around his man, and Cam Holding poke checks it away. How about Cam Holding a week ago? 5 points, a career high, a goal and 4 helpers. He came in with only 3 points on the season.
Well, but nice defense there from Cam Holding. Good job, avoided a couple of attempted picks and then stayed with his man as he and Creighton Reed had some excellent communication.
Late man on, Casey Powell. Of course, made the number 22 famous with Gary Gait. He wears 2 here as 22 is retired. Powell, little shovel shot around the goal. McLeod with it, feeding Holding on the crease. Back to Jones, he scores. No goal. Oh, yes, it is. And a shove after the play by Priolo. That's Steve Priolo who hit Adam Jones. I saw the official point to the goal line. It looked like he might have been saying crease violation. It's Jones on the board, 2:28 in.
How about Adam Jones? Just continues to improve and become the player that they want. I love the patience on the net. First off, nice passing here. Great pass by Holding to just get it over. And Adam Jones dodging a couple of times and finding enough time to get a shot off. And we had a player late arriving into the box.
A blatant procedure.
Yeah, should have been a procedure call, but they're going to let it go. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Mammoth get the face off anyway.
Kevin Brownwell making his return to the lineup. He played in February. He's off the practice squad roster, playing tonight. Going to be holding the stick, I believe, on Sutton's. Belanger trots off, 6-on-5 Colorado.
One of the Colorado players, that's Pollock, missing his stick and looked like he was ready to fight and then decided to go pick his stick up. A couple Buffalo players wouldn't let him get back to his stick as he was lying right in front of the crease.
2 to shoot. Delgarno is wide. Power play Colorado. It is Sutton's number 7, the 12th year man out of University of Hartford. 2 minutes for holding the stick. That's why Pollock's twig ended up on the turf.
Well, Pollock wasn't happy about it either. Again, I thought we were going to have an early fight like we had to end the game last time. It certainly is chippy. There's a lot of energy to start this game.
Casey Powell in the place of Gavin Prout on the power play. He wasn't playing on the man up for Rochester, but he does here. Grant listening to instructions from Ed Camo. I thought the official was going to put the ball down and let him play, which there was a Buffalo player creeping up. The Mammoth doing quite well on the power play. Buffalo's penalty kill below 50%. Aaron pass off the boards. Delgarno looking for it. Priolo is there. Mark Stainhouse for Buffalo. Still on the turf. Skying in the air. A Mammoth player hit down. Whistles, and it'll be Colorado ball. Extra possession, Colorado. Jones takes a slash. Grant shot. Might have hit Billy D. Smith. He's appealing his suspension, so he plays tonight. Powell was looking on the crease for Pollock, but turned it over. Caught is Sutton's. Pressure from Delgarno, and just an errant pass that Morgan finds his way under. Minute 10 remaining on the penalty to Harrison.
Well, let's watch the spacing now with some new members on this man-up unit.
Delgarno from Jones back to Grant and Powell. Grant from 12 yards out. That nailed Priolo. He flicks it ahead, and Powell will be there to get it.
Priolo heading over to the bench. Let's see if he gets tended to.
They didn't reset the shot clock. 2 to shoot, Colorado. Grant fires. It was after the buzzer, and it's Buffalo ball. I thought there should have been a reset as Priolo pushed it ahead. Now numbers for Buffalo in front. sent wide by Dane Smith.
Priolo getting looked at by the trainer on the Buffalo bench. He's halfway down the tunnel in obvious pain.
They just reset the shot clock for Buffalo with Stainhouse there. No idea why. 18 seconds on the penalty. Ball pops free to Konechny. A 4-game suspension for him. He appeals as well and plays tonight. Only 6 left that he's playing this evening, so if he loses it, he's going to miss the all but 1 game. Back at even strength as Harrison comes out. Jones, swing move, shot it wide.
Love the
Powell
patience.
applying pressure. There is McBride. It's not an over and back because Buffalo sent it there. 2-on-2 in transition, and Harrison, fresh out of the box, waits for the offense.
Like what Jones did on the dodge there. Shot just took a little bit bigger hop than I think anybody expected.
Rory Smith plays tonight. He was the first fight with 31 seconds left. That's why he didn't receive a suspension. Hopcroft's pass to Tavares. Tavares cut off, thinking about the dive shot. The Mammoth swarming defense. Williams shoots, and it beats the buzzer. Sean Williams, 5-hole on Belanger to tie the game at 1, his 13th on the season, 1,084th career point for the 38-year-old.
Yeah, the angle was blocked, just a sneaky hop that got through the wickets on Belanger. You see it here. It's good defense initially by Richard Morgan, and there you see it before Belanger can close the front door. Snuck underneath his leg pads there.
Just 1 second on that shot clock. Tavares with the assist. Hopcroft getting a helper as well. A pass from Thornbird into the stands. And a timeout on the floor. The Mammoth strikes first with Adam Jones. Sean Williams responds for the Bandits. 9:03 to go in the first quarter. St. Patrick's Day celebration from Pepsi Center. 1-1 the score. Back at Pepsi Center, early going Mammoth and Bandits, 1-1 the score. Fans amp it up as your Mammoth takes on the Philadelphia Wings on Saturday, March 30th, right here at 7 p.m. at Health One Field at Pepsi Center. This game night will not only be filled with action-packed lacrosse, but mutton bustin', Cowboys, and Spurs, brought to you by the National Western Stock Show. Visit tickethorse.com or call 303-53-HORSE for tickets today. I think the message is clear to amp it up.
Yeah, or have a few green beers. I'm not real sure what message you thought you were sending there. I think either could be construed from that. You dance like that after a couple? You dance like that before a couple?
Not me before. Not me before. I'll promise you that.
Well, then you know what? You're not having any because I don't want to see any of that after either.
Grant one-on-one with his defender, pulls it down, 8 to shoot. Twister is wide up into the net, and it's Buffalo ball. Buffalo briefly with numbers, but the defense out. Grant is the last Mammoth player onto the turf. Holding picks up the trailer. The switch to Dan Coates back in the lineup after missing 3 straight due to injury. Smith doesn't like what he sees. Aaron Wilson, feet in front, save Belanger on the shot from Carter Bender. Loose ball, Jamie Lincoln has it. 2 goals a week ago, playing out the back door, a transition role. McBride to McLeod, they're the only 2 without O in front of their last names on their jerseys, already having MC or MAC donning the back. Powell's shot, corralled McBride. They say it was a reset on the Powell take. Jones, 22 to shoot. Cosmo just got a piece. Delgarno was looking for the rebound, but more black jerseys than white. Adam Jones, who leads all forwards in the NLL in loose balls, and shows you why right here. Cosmo had his big stick in the way, and Stainhouse will clear.
Great effort by Jones, though.
Chad Culp, another former member of the Mammoth, loses it out of his stick on the check by Jarrett Park. Huge hitting from Colorado. Konechny finally has one. Behind the back, ahead to Reed, and really pressure defense from Colorado. Not something that Sean Ferris pulls out too often defensively.
I thought we were going to have more action, too. We had Park and Rooney talking about things. Probably shouldn't expect that tonight. You know, the league's watching after what went down last week. But again, you can tell the tempers are still very high. Nice shot by Junior.
There was an illegal screen on Colorado. So it is Bandits ball in front of their bench.
So now fans here at the game can bid to win the items that the players are wearing.
Right, jerseys, helmets, and shorts.
I might have to sneak off and place a bid on Belanger's helmet there. I like Belanger's
helmet. Not his helmet.
Why not his helmet?
I apologize. That's his, I apologize. He doesn't have a special one. Tavares in, Belanger robs.
I think his is the most unique.
Well, it is. That's the one he normally wears. He just grained it up tonight. Finds it in his pads. The auction ends at the end of halftime, so if you're at home and you want to sneak down, we'd love to have you on altitude, but you're welcome to be at the game as well. McBride around a pick, shoots, save. And one thing I've noticed from Cosmo here in the first 9 minutes is he's allowing some deeper rebounds. It's something that plagued the Mammoth goaltenders early in the season, and now with Lewis and Belanger, certainly we haven't seen as many long rebounds, which lead to offensive opportunities. Stainhouse in, Belanger with a little kick save.
You know, you and I were talking midweek about things. You had told me a different style from Ty Belanger, and your scouting report was correct. He really squares to the shooter well. There is just not a lot of goal to see behind him.
Aaron Wilson, little pick and roll from Stainhouse. Buffalo with its first lead 2-1. For Wilson, his 16th on the season. He is the Buffalo Bandits' leading scorer.
It's a nice little flip pass on top of the crease, as you'll see there. Great position of the shot. Wilson had all the time in the world, too, to work against the young Mammoth goalie, as there were no defenders really in chase.
All right, Andy, let's try it the next minute with the names on the back of the jerseys. Oho Talling facing it off.
Really?
He loses it, and you know what? We've got a fight, a rematch from last week. Rory Smith and Steve Priolo. Smith finally got to dance last week, the first time in a Mammoth uniform in almost 2 years, and Priolo wants him again. Smith gets a nice jab in. Right in front of Cosmo. He's got to get out of the way. Smith throwing with Priolo. Rights and lefts. Now Priolo's jersey's gone.
Boy, if I'm Smith, I might as well lose mine, too. Don't give him anything to grab onto. Smith's going to have a tough time unless he grabs those shoulder pads. This is a long fight.
Yeah, I said it would come
style.
I said it would come in the first 5 minutes, but it comes in the first 10.
Well, clearly it was thought about because you had Smith down there in the offensive end, not an offensive player, and there's a pretty good undercut by Smith that hit the jaw of Priolo. Now he's just going to wrestle Smith down. And seriously, are we on the MMA channel right now? That was about a 3-minute fight.
The officials telling Buffalo to go to its bench. They'll sort out the penalties. Let's see if it's just matching fives. Rory cuts off Steve and now retreats.
You'll see it coming here. There's a pretty good punch by Priolo, and then Smith gets one underneath as Priolo starts to duck right in the jaw. It's coming right here, right there. Could not have felt good. That might have some loose dental work down there in the box.
Now Stainhouse and Jones, and that's something Colorado cannot afford, because he will
Jones
get thrown out.
Out of there. Jones needs to get out of there now. I don't care what the situation is. You don't want Adam Jones fighting at all.
And Stainhouse is a former 51-goal scorer, and now they're both going to the box also. Stainhouse playing a different role. He's playing a defensive transition role, which baffles me still for a guy who's a 100-point scorer. Jones has words for Stainhouse, and if I'm the coaches, the moment he goes back on the turf, you better get him on the bench and straighten things out.
Yeah, and I appreciate Jones' passion, and you see he's fired up there, but look, you can't have any of this. Mac Allen is gone for the year. Mac Allen has had his share of injuries getting in these kind of altercations. This is a guy you wish you had out there. Adam Jones does not need to have the same thing happen. Appreciate the passion and what he wants to do, but
Joey Capito cleaning up the laundry. He's got Rory's shoulder pads and helmet.
Kilgore a little fired up too.
Shocking.
Yeah. Look, you knew we were going to have high emotions here, but the players have to understand there's no way, now that we've had the fight, now that we've had the rematch out of the way, I imagine the officials are going to do all they can to make sure there is no repeat of last week. The league already is reviewing and going to go over the suspensions that were handed out last week. You know, they don't want any more of it. I know the fans enjoy it, but that is probably going to be it for the night. So players have to be smart. Because again, as you laid out, Chet Konechny, once he likely has his appeal, is going to sit out
at least
the remainder
3,
of the
if not
season
4,
for the most part. So can't have anybody else getting lost in the shuffle like that. Both these teams need their players to finish out the season.
Rory Smith getting dressed. That's what he's going to look like after the game too, when the auction's over. Anthony Cosmo looking for some more information. John Tavares is the man right by the bench. Grant received the info from the refs. And did they just throw out somebody? Somebody from the Mammoth bench is being asked to vacate. It's Smith. Oh, that's Bob Hamley's daughter on screen.
Yeah, but we've got a situation here. Smith is the only one heading towards the locker room.
Why?
Are they not clearing both? Well, Smith does not quit talking. I don't know what.
How is Priolo, if Smith's going in, how is Priolo not as well? Hamley and Camo asking questions. That's a terrible loss.
He's clearly been kicked out because you can see the anger on our cameras right there.
And the Mammoth down a man. Wow.
Did he get an instigator of some type?
Must have. Williams can't catch. A Buffalo power play. Gallant with possession steps in the crease.
That's why I was trying to get rid of it. Oh, emotions are high here right now. At the end of it, you've only got Jones serving the 2-minute penalty. Now explain that to me.
Either they're missing one on the board, or he got more than
the Mammoth are down a player.
Stainhouse. Oh, there definitely are. Buffalo on the man up 55% as Belanger covers that post. The Mammoth under 50% on the kill.
Did Steenhouse not go to the box with Jones? I thought we
No,
did.
he did. He's
Did
in
Jones
there. I
get
see
an
his
extra?
hair.
He must have got some sort of extra penalty. We haven't had it announced. We'll try to remedy that for you.
Rory Smith got 5 for fighting, 2 for an instigator. That doesn't explain an ejection though. Whistles. They say a shot clock violation as Buffalo rips it away. There was 26 seconds on the shot clock. McLeod's confused. Rory Smith has been ejected from the game. We'll sort it out when we return here on Altitude. Well, we had the fight that some thought we might as Bandits lead the Mammoth 2-1. Nuggets fans, be sure and tune into Altitude this Monday as the red-hot Denver Nuggets take on the Chicago Bulls. Jordan Wyatt starts at 5:30 p.m. for the pregame show to get all your latest news and updates on your Denver Nuggets and around the league. Right here on your home for Denver Nuggets basketball, Altitude Sports. All I see right now, Andy, on the official game sheet is 5 for fighting for Priolo for Buffalo, 2 minutes roughing minor on Jones, 2 minutes roughing minor on Mark Stainhouse, but that's it. They still haven't figured it all out, have they?
Yeah, they've not. We're waiting on now our in-house PA has said there's more coming. I think that's an obvious statement. We're waiting for him to get back to the official announcement of what has happened because Rory Smith appears to have been ejected, and judging by his nonverbal reaction, the throwing of the stick and whatnot once he got down the tunnel, he clearly, in my opinion anyway, appears to know he's not coming back to this game.
Yeah, he's done.
But we've not been given any reason as to why. There must have been some kind of instigator, and I don't know if it's because, I don't know. It's not like they can penalize him for lining up in an opposite zone because clearly.
No. He was lined up there for the face-off, which is where he lines up every face-off.
Okay, well then, I don't know. I don't know what led to that. It looked like both guys were willing to go. Nobody else jumped in. It looked like you're running the mill fight, so to speak. So I don't know what led to whatever got Rory kicked out unless something was said that the officials did not appreciate while he was in the box.
Fans, tonight's Colorado Mammoth telecast is being brought to you by your local Ford stores. Visit thinkfordnow.com. But as you mentioned that, Andy, Adam Jones shows on there for roughing, as does Stainhouse. Belanger with the save. So it wouldn't have been, if that's all that there is on Jones, he wouldn't be the only penalty showing on the board, and the Mammoth wouldn't be down a man. The down a man would be from the instigator if there is one on Rory, which is what we're getting word of, but can't confirm officially yet.
Now Jones and Stainhouse are about ready to come out of the box in about 10 seconds here.
6 to shoot. Grant splitting a double team. Gets it right back. No, he doesn't. Good play by Grant to take up the full shot clock. An extra shot to the shoulder of Glenn Bryan as they come off.
So Jones is released. Stainhouse is going to have to wait for a stoppage.
Jones almost got Dane Smith. Smith, Belanger with a huge save. Loose ball, Adam Jones.
Beautiful backside save. Sorry, Josh.
I see Rory is done for the night, and again, we're still waiting on it. Cam holding, bounce pass to Grant. Powell with a pick in front of him. Was looking in the direction of Jones, who has it now. 6 to shoot, pass errant of Powell. McLeod with 2 on the timer.
Okay, I'm being told that Rory got a game misconduct, so that's his ejection.
Now they just got McLeod for a delay of game as Stainhouse comes out. Unsportsmanlike delay of game on McLeod. He threw that ball after the shot clock expired.
What would have earned Rory the game misconduct?
I don't know. McLeod sits and he's mad. Colorado penalty killing yet again. And without Smith, the Mammoth has to stay out of the box. Pass tipped down by Morgan. Bull dodge on Tavares. Look at the wheels of Joey Capito. Fighting for it, and he has it. One-on-one, he should go right after Hopcroft, but we'll wait to kill more time.
Tell you what, you got to love Joey Capito's game, don't you? He's just full of energy and grit.
How was he picked at the end of the draft? Somebody missed him. Everybody missed him.
Well, it's a sport that's getting bigger.
A hold on Jones. That's Chad Culp, who's the guilty party. And we'll even things up. So Buffalo falls to 0 for 2 on the power play, even though this one was short. And that's exactly why Adam Jones has to stay out of the penalty box. He's had 2 goals or more in 6 straight games.
Look, the bottom line, he's one of your best scorers. I don't want him throwing punches. We don't need any sort of fights. Your hands are too valuable to be getting involved with something like that, period.
6th penalty minute on Culp this season. The Mammoth will actually have a short man up when the penalty on McLeod expires. Grant one-on-one Stainhouse. There's a pick. McBride slips in, shoots and scores. Jordan McBride with no angle went over the shoulder of Cosmo and ties things up at 2.
That was a beautiful goal. That one goes on the highlight reel right away. Nice job by Jordan McBride. Couple of fakes, nice little cut. That was just a well-executed play by the Mammoth.
He's got 2 hat tricks in his last 3 games played. Look at Powell's assist. And now we'll go with the O's in front of the names. We got interrupted by a fight. Oho Talling to take the face-off against Jay Thornbord. See if you can keep up with me.
Do you like the verbal gymnastics of Oho Talling? Is that why you now called it out twice?
O Powell, O Grant the assists, Oho Talling the loose ball. Bounce pass, O Holding, and the Mammoth back on the offense. Under 2 to go, first quarter. Stutter steps, O Grant. Still 4-on-4 action for the next minute. O Jones, the reigning Rookie of the Year. O Grant drops a shoulder in, fake shot, Cosmo got just enough. Brownwell loose ball, pressure O Pollock, and the Bandits the other way. 3-on-2 Buffalo. Brownwell around a pick, feeds the crease, another pass to the crease, and Hominick scores to take the lead again for Buffalo. It was weird, it seemed like the players stopped. I don't know if they heard something, a cowbell ringing or something, but everybody stopped.
They did, but what a nice play by Buffalo. I mean, the ball just kept moving. It just kept hopping from one stick to the next and kept finding a better angle till it finally was put in behind Belanger. Belanger did all he could, but watch how it just never stops. One final pass, Belanger gets dropped there, and Hominick just had enough time to pop one home.
And he stays out of the crease. 1 minute to go. Here's Jones. Spins right around his man, right into the chest of Cosmo. Anthony Cosmo, a former goaltender of the year. Jones rips it away from Stainhouse. 8 seconds to get it across, and that'll be a violation as Jones forces the ball back in the crease. And the 2 men who got called for roughing, one on the other, exchange more words.
I'm not sure I've seen a lacrosse player with as much hair coming out of his helmet as Steenhouse.
Well, he used to wear the bright orange shoes as well. McLeod's out of the box. It's a short power play for Colorado. 15 to shoot, 15 on the shot clock. The penalty time and an over and back against Grant. 23 seconds left as Cosmo can pull once the penalty's released. Culp's out of the box. Even strength right now. Cosmo will stay in between the pipes. 3 seconds left. Stainhouse trying to feed. Only thing there is green turf. And Konechny has it. That brings us to the end of the first quarter. The Mammoths scored first. Buffalo scores 3 of the next 4. Steve Priolo finally out of the box from his fight with Rory Smith. Look at Powell feeding McBride. It's the first point in Powell's Mammoth career. start of the second quarter. Buffalo leading Colorado 3-2. Hotelling and Thornburg. Face-off second quarter. Stainhouse doesn't have it. Reed comes away with it. Colorado trailed 3-0 at the end of the first quarter a week ago against Buffalo. Scored 12 the next 15 as we go to Connor McGahey with Adam Jones. McBride looked like the shot went in. They called a crease violation, and Anthony Cosmo is down on his back.
Boy, there have been a lot of crease violations that have bit the Mammoth this year as far as taking goals away. Jamie Lincoln has really had a lot of them, and we'll see if Cosmo's okay as he's getting up. But here's a replay. Let's see, he's definitely in the crease. There's no arguing that call. Now, didn't look like there was a violent collision to end it. I don't know, maybe his cleat got caught and something tweaked in his leg or what happened. Could be a knee situation, you think, Josh, but he's walking around okay now. Maybe he just banged it. All right, so the official explanation as to what happened as far as why we've got Rory Smith out of the game is he was the aggressor. So it is an instigator.
That's what they put on the board now. 10-minute game misconduct instigator.
Which I think, just my opinion, that seems a little tough. Both guys, I mean, it didn't look like Roy had to go out there and talk him into going.
No.
It's not like he chased him around and shoved him multiple times before something happened.
No,
it looked like they were both ready to just finish business.
An illegal pick on Buffalo. And let's face it, before they even engaged, both players were ready to go. Usually you see an instigator if a guy's going after somebody. Right. And you might even have an unwilling combatant. That was definitely not the case in our first quarter fight. Powell's shot tipped a couple bodies, and Cosmo, the left-hander, is the one who has it. Ahead to Mike McNamara. Go ahead, Andy.
I understand that the officials want to keep this game under control, and so does the league. I understand that fully, and I respect that thought. But again, to have an instigator in that fight that you knew that was coming, unless both sides were warned, just seems a little tough.
Park got beat momentarily. They're going to call a penalty on that on Jared Park? Wow. You know, I got complimented, Andy, in the pregame by one of the Mammoth fans who said, I go home and watch the games. I enjoy watching you, Andy, and Connor. And she said, I like that you're not biased. You know what? Of course there's a bit of a hometown bias.
Right.
But a hold there on Jared Park looked a little bit loose to me.
I don't know. That's tough. That's tough. The only thing I guess you're calling is that backhand. I don't see it personally, but I don't know what kind of angle that he had. The only thing I could guess is he thought that hand had a hold of something that it didn't. I don't know what else you're calling it.
Buffalo 0 for 2 on the man up. Tavares shoots well high and wide. Hopcroft has it in his clutches. Hominick feeds Tavares with 8 to shoot. Belanger slid across. He knocked the goal off its pipes. Hominick, Tavares in front, and a save Belanger. Morgan pushes it over to Dan Coates, and Sean Williams is slow to get up for the Bandits. He does hobble to the bench. Matt McLeod avoids pressure from the backside and leaves for Del Garno. Mammoth down a man for another minute 14. Grant stutter step around a pick right into the midsection of Cosmo with 1:05 to go in Park's penalty.
McBride trying to throw a little pick there, trying to give Grant just a bit of space. That worked, but the shot a little high.
Hopcroft, the point man up top. He's got a cannon, unleashes it there, and Belanger sweeps it away. 40 seconds in the man up. Feet in tight, tough catch, better save. Gallant looks for help. Nice find in Konechny. 3-on-3. Konechny feeding the crease, Jamie Lincoln scores! A short-handed goal for Colorado to tie things up. Jamie Lincoln, 3 goals in 1.5 games against Buffalo.
Now, I don't know if that needs to be number 1, but I hope SportsCenter's taken a little bit of notice for top 10. That was an absolutely gorgeous goal. Nice pass first off, and then just a great finish.
And short-handed nonetheless.
They want to replay.
Well, the goalie does in Cosmo.
Yeah, Cosmo, that's a cross. Cosmo thinks that maybe Lincoln's foot touched down, but that was just a nice fluid movement. And again, in the air to get that much pepper on the ball. Nice job by Lincoln.
Kilgore will not challenge. The Mammoths still down a man for the next 15 seconds. Toronto beating Philadelphia this afternoon 13-8. So the Rock extends its lead in the East. Belanger, another save. We're back at even strength right now. Reed forced to heave. Capito off the head of his stick. Priolo is out of the box. And Tavares spins ahead. The assists on Lincoln's goal to Konechny and Gallant. Whistles. What was the call?
He's calling
Is there
delay
too many
game.
men?
Kilgore,
Buffalo
yep,
called for an illegal substitution, too many men. Colorado will be on the man advantage. Officially 0 for 2 this evening. They've had one short power play. Chad Culp, the in-home player, will serve tonight.
Now we get a second look at this power play. I believe we've got Casey Powell manning one of the positions again. He's not out there far side depth. There he goes.
Powell behind the back. McBride shoots. It's wide, but still 13 to shoot. Jones. Here's Powell. Feed inside. McBride, he couldn't handle it. Jones looked like he had a beat on it. And Cosmo, long feed all the way up the turf. Tough catch by Dane Smith. And good defense by, is that Adam Jones or Cam Holding?
That's Cam Holding. Cam Holding got back. He hustled. Great job by Holding. Even better defense to continue this possession.
I'll tell you what, Cam Holding was a healthy scratch earlier this season after playing in all 16 last year. I don't think he's going to be a healthy scratch again this year.
Yeah, and they didn't want him on there. Actually, Sean Williams went over and set a pick trying to take Holding off of the offensive player. It did work. Morgan switched. That tells you the kind of respect Holding earned on that defensive possession.
Powell, McBride, and Pollock, the righties. The lefties are Grant and Jones. Switch between McBride and Powell. Powell behind the back. Pollock, as Cosmo held the near pipe. McBride shovels to Pollock and gets it back. 30 on the shot clock and 30 on the penalty. Cosmo again looking ahead, and he just gives it away. Colorado will have one last touch. I don't know why Cosmo did that. Gives the Mammoth a chance. Once more on the man up. Lot of rotating.
Yeah, nice cycle through by two Mammoth players. First McBride, then Powell on the follow, and they worked around 3 times.
It's a bit of a wheel play for the Mammoth as Culp's out of the box, back at even strength. Both teams have yet to score on the man up. Colorado with a shorthanded goal from Jamie Lincoln a couple minutes ago. Hominick. Penalty on Colorado. No, it's on Buffalo.
We got an injured Mammoth player. Who is down there?
Number 11, John
I don't like
Gallant.
that. That looks like a shoulder injury for Gallant. The way he's holding his arm, I don't like it. I wonder if his shoulder's out.
We'll check it out on our return. Jamie Lincoln takes to the air. Colorado ties it up. John Gallant back up on his feet, ties score in the second from Pepsi Center. Fans, it's Fan Appreciation Night as your Mammoth takes on the West Division rival Minnesota Swarm on Saturday, April 13th at 7 p.m. on Health One Field at Pepsi Center. Get your party pack tickets, 4 beers or Pepsis, and 4 hot dogs for only $49. Visit tickethorse.com or call 303-53-HORSE. A 5-minute illegal cross-checking called on Chad Culp. John Gallant struggles to get to the Mammoth locker room. And Andy, that's 2 defenders Colorado's down right now. Rory Smith for the ejection and John Gallant now from an injury.
Yeah, they're going to have to be smart the rest of the way, and let's hope it doesn't affect the defensive play. And, I don't know. It's an upper body injury.
We get another look at the penalty from Chad Culp. It's right after Buffalo shoots, I believe.
So
right
here comes the check. Oh, and there's the butt in right into the rib cage. I wonder if maybe he didn't separate a rib, something with the clavicle, I don't know. But
Powell behind the back, McBride shoots and scores. His second of the game, it's a power play goal, Colorado 4-3.
Well, much like John Grant Jr., Casey Powell draws attention. He draws attention and it creates space, and Andrew McBride right now, Jordan McBride taking a chance, taking advantage of this. Just a nice shot. McBride's hop shots are so clean, so pure.
13 goals on the season. He had 10 in 11 games played a season ago. The coaches raved about him. Now that he's on the power play, he is lethal as we reset it from Pepsi Center. Assists to Powell and Grant. You hit the nail on the head. Drawing attention. Grant, 07-2012 MVP. He sends that one wide. Powell took the award in 2010.
You're not leaving either one of those guys alone.
You can't.
So it puts some pressure on their teammates to make sure you get the spots and pick it up and take advantage of the space they create for you. McBride did that there.
Rooney in. Belanger makes, he didn't even touch it. Well, and you can't leave Adam Jones alone either.
Right.
That's one thing I love about this Powell move is it's another true threat. And a guy who has a couple 40-goal seasons, 5 straight 80-point seasons. Mad respect for Casey Powell in the NLL. Feeding Pollock, and he's robbed. Grant with the head fake. Powell to Jones. Jones, Pollock bit on the fake, but has the loose ball off the near boards. Still 17 to shoot. Powell, Grant, cutting in Pollock. Grant didn't find him in time. McBride behind the back, Grant. Good ball movement, Colorado. Jones shoots and scores. That's 2 straight on the power play. How did he find a hole over the shoulder of Anthony Cosmo?
I have no idea because that ball hopped once and it disappeared for me. I didn't see it till it wrapped around the top of the crossbar. Maybe I'll get to see my first look at this nice shot. Wow, that didn't even hop. That was just one of those nice ones that he shot. It was a low release, riser, caught the corner.
Halfway through the second quarter, Adam Jones now makes it 7 straight games with 2+ goals. Hotaling lost his stick at the faceoff circle. He's applying pressure. Thorimbert still had it the whole time with 4 white jerseys draped on his back. 3 minutes to go on the major to Chad Culp. Jones's goal assists to Grant and McBride.
Good ball movement, though, and let's see if they can do it one more time. Take advantage of this 5-minute penalty here.
Grant fakes it. Powell behind the back. Pollock shoots, save Cosmo. Pollock, nice loose ball, far away from his body. About as much as you'd extend on a golf shot.
Yeah, nice snagging on the backhand if I saw it right. And McBride with another hop shot takes advantage of space. His hat trick for the night. So the guy that doesn't need the prosthetic O to help out his name on Irish night has a hat trick. Seems fitting.
Powell, Grant, McBride. Those are the 3 on the points. So 2 and 24 on the assists from 14. 6-3 Colorado. We're back at even strength, although Culp will still serve. And right back the other way, Dane Smith with a low laser beam.
Well, that was just a nice play. Good ball movement by Buffalo. Picked it up. 2 quick passes. That really is textbook right there.
It's not something you see in the NLL
No.
very often. That's more of a field play, face-off win, bang, bang. But it came here for Dane Smith. His 16th on the year.
What a good clean face-off win will do for you right there.
You know, he's one of those rookies that frankly is getting no attention, and it's primarily because Mark Matthews has lit the NLL on fire. Suttons thought he had a clean lane, and finally a Mammoth defender gave him the respect he deserves. 2:10 to go as Culp sits.
No good battles, though, defensively for Colorado tonight. Mammoth players have got to quit losing their stick, but other than that, I mean,
Dan Coates is the man without it, and they score on him. The light came on very quickly. Was that for the goal or the shot clock? Because if it was for the shot clock, it was awfully close. If it was for the goal, obviously it's good.
I wonder if Buffalo's doing something. Coach is complaining, and it just seems like we've got a lot of separation from players in their stick tonight, and I'm not sure why.
Hopcroft gathers the assist. The Mammoth without a face-off man. That'll lead to a free win for Buffalo. What I want to know is, where is Ryan Hotaling? That's his designated spot as the Bandits claw to back within one. Hominick in front, Bender, and Belanger closes the wickets. Heave up to Konechny. Zigzagging, winding his way in and out of trouble, and finds Delgarno. Grant right at Priolo, dive shot, ball still loose. And now covered up by Glenn Bryan.
Yeah, but you see some
Mammoth
of the
fans, you can now follow your team on Facebook and Twitter. Become a fan of the Colorado Mammoth today and get the inside scoop on daily events, promotions, and players. The handle is @MammothLax, and it's facebook.com/Colorado Mammoth.
I was going to say, you see some of the strength of John Grant Jr. on that last play, just bowling through his defender and not giving him the angle.
Jones had Grant in a 2-on-2 and took a little shot. Numbers now as Stainhouse sweeps in. Harrison pulls it down. Capito's got to step out on him on the switch as Dan Coates has his stick again. Quick switch from Coates to get on Stainhouse. 40 seconds to go in the 5-minute major, although we're playing at 5-on-5 strength. It's picked off by Jamie Lincoln. He's got one shorthanded goal, looking to score his second on the night, and just puts it wide. Out of the reach of holding. Colorado's got to get back defensively. Buffalo will have numbers. Reed off the bench, feeding Stainhouse in front, and sent wide by Aaron Wilson. Swooping in for the loose ball is Cam Holding.
Good hustle by the defensive unit. You had to gas Jamie Lincoln after the nice intercepted pass. He had to get off. That kind of put them a little bit behind the 8 ball as far as recovering their defensive formations, but good job by the guys out there.
So the penalty has expired. The next whistle will let Culp come out of the box. Grant, swing move right over his man. Flips behind his back. There's a penalty, and down is Grant. Out of the goal is Belanger. And who got Grant? Billy D. Smith. We'll step aside. The Mammoth will go on the power play once again. The lovely ladies in the hot tub enjoying the action. Colorado leading by 1. 6-5 Mammoth leads the Bandits, 3:32 to go in the second quarter. Fans, hold your company gathering, birthday party, or other special event here at Pepsi Center with a group of 20 or more for special pricing. Call 303-405-1101 for group information or log on to tickethorse.com or coloradomammoth.com today. A 5-minute slashing major called on Billy D. Smith. The Mammoth scored 3 on their last major. If you're Billy D. Smith, you have a reputation for picking up some penalty minutes. 28, of course, that a little bit skewed because of the fight last week. But how can you do that when you saw what happened in a 5-minute major a few moments ago?
Because you don't care? I don't know what else to say.
You hope you don't get caught?
Yeah,
it's not cheating unless you get caught? I don't know.
I guess it's just your game, and that's how you're going to play it. I don't have any other explanation for you, but the Mammoth need the same results, so. I don't know. I've liked the power play, though. I think there's been some good movement. I think there's been good cycling. I think they're getting good shots. I think you're
somebody else gets to feel like what you feel like, somebody screaming in their face. That's usually what I make Andy put up with for 60 minutes of game action. McBride swings to Grant. Powell tiptoes the crease but stays out. Jones looks for his hat trick, and Cosmo is right there. Powell almost picked it off, looking for the loose ball. It's going to be tough to get it over in 8 seconds. Priolo, that's got to be 8. There's the call.
Sutton's threw some pretty heavy checks there, too.
5-minute major once again on Smith, now 33 penalty minutes this season. Hidden ball trick from Powell to McBride. Grant looked it away. Powell behind the back, McBride. He's got Pollock on the crease, cross crease, Jones, and Cosmo stayed right with it.
Great ball movement. You just want to see that pay off with goals, but great ball movement there.
Dangerous pass down the field, and what an effort from Jordan McBride. Can Pollock make it pay off? He can't. Stainhouse ahead to Priolo. Not who you want running the break for Buffalo. He has 2 career goals in 45 games played. Minute 30 gone by of the Billy D. Smith slashing major picked up by John Grant. Jones trails inside, and Williams just dumps it to the corner. Under 2 to go, first half.
I got to tell you, I like some of the new alignments. I've liked Jamie Lincoln so far, playing high and having to serve that transition role at times. Showed some good anticipation on some of, especially that early pass that he picked off earlier here in the quarter.
Powell's open from up top, fires, save Cosmo. Thornbert and Powell look for it, and Powell gets just enough of a touch to save a fast break. Grant, McBride, that shot denied by Harrison, and it comes down harmlessly to Mike McNamara. 2:45 to go on the Smith major.
The other player that's really shown up tonight,
Belanger with a nice save as a man ran free,
has been Jordan McBride. McBride is a guy that I know Bob Hamley had kind of told a few people he was very excited about. We're starting to see why right now, as there's a minute left in the quarter, so this penalty time will extend into the third quarter. See if the Mammoth can maybe get 1 or 2, though, before the quarter break takes.
The Mammoth with 12 shots this quarter, 10 on the power play. McBride, Pollock, shoots and scores! It's first on the Smith major, Pollock's first in seemingly a lifetime. He had 0 goals in the last 3 and 4 of the last 5, and he finds the back of the net on a bounce shot. It's 7-5 Mammoth.
Nice hesitation by Pollock. Watch it here as he gets the backdoor pass and just waits. Cosmo didn't know what was going to happen. He just threw it by him. I thought there was one more fake initially until you see the replay here. And now we got a timeout by Buffalo.
For Pollock, his 9th goal on the season. He had 26 last year. He holds the dubious distinction of never winning a playoff game. He played his entire career with Minnesota until last season, his first with the Mammoth. Of course, Colorado lost to Minnesota in the West Division semifinal last year, which means he's still winless in the playoffs. How about Casey Powell's debut? It may not show up to fans big time, no goals yet, but how about 4 assists? And he's been huge on the power play.
Well, but that's great. Just like we've talked about, he's creating space for teammates. Teammates are finding a way to put those shots home. It's been a little tight on that power play this year. They haven't found the kind of space they've had in years past. It just seems like everyone's cycling the ball around. I like the backdoor cutting. There's been good off-ball movement. There's a lot of things to feel positive about tonight for Colorado. Unfortunately, you're to the point in the season where if you don't finish the second half off with more goals that get you the win, then you're not going to be able to really enjoy it. But I think some good things here.
Colorado has possession with 40 ticks left. And about 2 to go in Billy D. Smith's major. Pollock, the last goal scorer. Grant, goalless in the first half, puts a lot into that one and sends it wide. Priolo with pressure on him and Pollock. 2-on-1 Buffalo, and Stainhouse lucky to pick it up. All alone, Sutton's denied by Belanger. Wow. Whistles. And is there a timeout? Colorado calls a timeout with just under 7 ticks remaining.
Just see Jared Park give Belanger a little pat on the head. Save that one, folks. That was a nice save. No momentum right before the half. Poor Buffalo. That's why that was big. We'll see if they can't get a quick possession off, maybe add to this 7-goal total for the first half thus far. They will have penalty time carrying over to the second half regardless.
Mammoth fans, tune into Altitude as your Mammoth hits the road to take on the West Division nemesis, the Calgary Roughnecks. All the hard-hitting action starts Monday, March 25th at 1 p.m. right here on Altitude, your home for the Mammoth.
Hey, that guy on the last shot had a little Bob Hamley look to him. Bob
Did
got
it?
an older brother in the house tonight?
That guy?
No,
No, I'm just
that's
kidding.
you later on. That's how Josh looks, folks, when we're in the off season, so he can go and hit the mountains, cruise the trails with one of those RPM bikes.
Or in the intro segment to tonight's broadcast.
Yeah, well, look, you weren't quite there, but it takes Josh about 10 minutes to grow a beard if you need him to. Matter of fact, you're a little scruffy. You're going to go shave at halftime right now, right?
I shaved a few hours ago. Lay off me.
Yeah, you know what? It's St. Patty's Day. I've got some Irish blood. It would take me a good 3 days to get the growth you had going earlier.
Colorado goes empty net as McBride gets a whack from Stainhouse right in front of the official during a stoppage. Grant's asking about it.
Well, he's had enough of him. But I think the Mammoth, no, they've got to be careful now. They're down enough guys. You've got Rory Smith out and John Gallant hurt. I don't believe Gallant's returned to the bench. He was in a great deal of pain. You cannot afford to lose anybody else, period.
Yeah, we have not seen Gallant back in the game. Quickly up the floor. 5 seconds. Powell shoots, sends it wide. Cosmo with it, 2 to shoot. All the way down the other end of the floor and wide. And that's the way we head to halftime. The Mammoths score 4 in a 5-minute major situation. 3 against Buffalo the first time, and 1 here. Adam Jones with a couple. Ty Belanger's looked good in goal again. He's the reigning Rookie of the Week. And Sean Pollock's found the back of the net for the Mammoth. The Toyota Halftime Report is next here on Altitude. Stay with us.
Celtic Step School. Come on, everybody. That takes a lot of time.
Because you look so fine, and I really want to make you mine. I said you look so fine, and I really want to make you mine. 4, 5, 6, come on and get your kicks. Now you don't need the money when you look like that, do you, honey? Big black boots, long brown hair. She's so sweet with her get up back stare. Well, I can see you are with me, but you were with another man, yeah. I know we ain't got much to say before I let you get away, yeah.
Give it up for the Wild Bunch. They'd like the following sponsors to be thanked for their continued support. Forza Fitness and Performance Club, GTM Sportswear, The Palms Training Resort, Hapa Sushi, Waxing the City, Dr. Rad's Cosmetic Dentistry, Core Para Yoga, and RPM Motorsports. RPM was a great sponsor tonight with all those fine machines. Away from free beer battered tacos from Del Taco, but we need more, right? So we got to get loud. They get it in the net. Let's do this.
We saw
Tonight's second half face-off is brought to you by your local Ford stores. Visit thinkfordnow.com. Thorimbert had the win and then had it poke-checked away. Loose ball Jared Park, and he goes down grimacing on his chest. Gets it back as he's in pain and runs to the bench. Holding nose, he's way short on numbers as the Mammoth still has another 50 seconds left on the Billy D. Smith Major. Colorado scored 1 so far on this power play. Powell behind the back, Grant, space to shoot, and Cosmo made the save. That's where you want John Grant shooting from out front. Powell keeps it himself, moves it and scores! Casey Powell's first goal in a Mammoth uniform. 8-5 Colorado.
And he just left them stunned. It was like the Buffalo defense was hypnotized. They didn't know what to do. They just stood there as he went for the head fake. Nobody collapsed on him. He figured, why not? This little hopper between the 5-hole. And he got Cosmo to move the stick, took advantage of it. Mammoth have a chance to get one more goal before back to even.
Only a few seconds remaining on that Billy D. Smith Major. The Mammoth with its largest lead of the game. 14 ticks left on the man up. Grant, who's goalless, shot knocked down by Priolo. Powell with pressure on him. 3 to shoot. McBride behind the goal, Adam Jones, and a 30-second shot clock violation. Priolo given a running start before it even whistled in. Controlled by Stainhouse. Bomb from outside is well wide. Rich Morgan ahead to Lincoln, too tall. Rich Morgan thought he was throwing to himself or one of his brothers. Jamie Lincoln, a modest 6 feet tall. Pollock looking for his second of the night. It sails high. Important loose ball for Matt McLeod. Shoveled forward, one defender on. Jared Park back out there. Shot, save. Ty Belanger denying Chad Colt. Everything's final in the National Lacrosse League except this one. The Rock by 5 over the Wings. Edmonton beats Rochester. And Minnesota up big on Washington. Grant inside, dives and scores. How often do you get a John Grant Jr. dive shot? Not frequently. His 30th goal on the season, and now 12 seasons of 30-plus.
Beautiful goal by Grant, but man, he's hit his defender about 3 or 4 times.
I think he gets so sick and tired of the abuse that he takes down there. A goal and 4 assists tonight. Hotaling went for the shovel, instead came up with air. Priolo gets his shovel through, and Park is slow again to get to the Mammoth bench. They can't afford to lose him, even though he's gimpy.
I can't tell where the injury is. Again, I guess we'll have to say upper body to borrow a hockey term. I don't know if maybe he's got a tweaked rib or what it is, but it looks like he's struggling to keep his breath.
Can I say thanks Bill Belichick for that one?
The upper body injury or the NHL, it's up to you.
Capito gets leveled, and there's a penalty coming up on Buffalo. Tavares or Culp. Belanger goes out, 6-on-5 Mammoth. Buffalo can't stay out of the box.
Well, it looks like it's going to be Culp. Culp is at least the one arguing with the official right now.
Well, Tavares was as well, and here's a guy who never goes to the box. In fact, 0 penalty minutes this season.
And I'm going to put my money on Culp if it's all right with you.
Pollock's shot denied Cosmo, touched up McNamara, and it is Culp. Oh, Tavares. I thought you couldn't call a penalty on the great ones.
It's an exception at all times. Cross-check on Tavares.
Good look at the penalty as Capito tries to clear and just gets crushed.
Well, and we see why it was a penalty. Capito tried to duck, as you see the goal by Junior.
The Mammoth on the man up.
Back to the penalty. He took a shot to the head. You know that's going to get called no matter who the player is.
Grant in, Cosmo, a little tip. Jones can't handle the loose ball, and Grant dragged down by Priolo. Thrown errantly by Cosmo, and he and Stainhouse not on the save page.
That's about the second or third time tonight that we've seen that, haven't we?
And I don't know why he's in such a rush to clear, especially in a man down. It's not like that was a break opportunity. That's a different story. Pollock from Powell, and Cosmo let that one hit his toe.
Nice job of reaching back just to get that.
McBride, his 4th on the night. A little extra look to the Bandits goaltender. Colorado, another score on the man up.
Well, and I think McBride, that was just a little I've got you right now. It looked like he got the head of Cosmo moving around as he tried to pick up the shot before it was even out of his stick. Maybe I misread that from up here, but it just looked like right there Cosmo had no idea where he was going, didn't even know where to guess. And that was not a hopping shot by McBride. I think, again, that just shows the effects those hop shots have on the goaltenders.
Delayed penalty now on Colorado. Cosmo goes off. Assists on the McBride goal to Powell and Jones. In front, Rooney denied. Ball down on the turf, and whistles blow it dead. Slashing called on Hotaling. 2 minutes for a slash. Hotaling's first penalty minutes in the NLL in a couple of years. The Saratoga, New York native. He has 18 penalty minutes now in his 31 games played. Colorado doubling up Buffalo. That's what they did as the final result a week ago, but an opportunity here for the Bandits, who have not yet scored on the man advantage. Tavares handcuffed, still holds on to the catch. Hopcroft bomb and scores. second on the night for Hopcroft. He used to play here. It looked like he was waiting for the Pepsi Center crowd to celebrate his goal, and then he realized, oops, I'm the visitor.
And I'm sure that felt good for Hopcroft. That was a kid that was a good player here last year. At least he had his moments. And in usually the moments came with the windup like this. Again, I'm just amazed at how much power he gets on his shots with very little windup. That was always impressive. We saw that on display a few times last year in this building. So I'm sure it felt good for him.
Check away Hotaling, fresh out of the penalty box. Pressure on Thornburg. Luke Wiles released earlier this week. And a trade that made national news that we'll get to when Colorado regains possession. Bandits down 4. This matches their goal total from last week. Dane Smith cut off, gets inside and has it checked from behind. Loose ball near boards. Creighton Reed with it. He has it poked away by Rooney. Now Dane Smith controls. So Steve Dietrich, the Bandits general manager, great goaltender, one of the greatest of all time, makes a trade for himself. Tavares from outside, and he hits 2 pipes to make it 10-7. Tavares' his first goal on the night. He's got 2 points.
Look, we talked about this before we went to the half. You said, what's the big key for them in the second half? And the big key is going to be maintaining their defensive effort, which has been pretty good to this point. Didn't know look at the goal there, but Colorado has these tendencies to fall into lulls, and it's happening again. Buffalo with more energy than we've seen in over a quarter and a half, though, I'd say.
McLeod took the face-off for the Mammoth. He lost it to Thornburg. Looked like he was almost giving it to Buffalo. Stainhouse runs with Coates. The switch comes. Catch. Nope. Hopcroft can't hold on. And a loose ball by Konechny. 3-on-3 develops. Konechny feeds Pollock, the late runner, shoots, and sent it just off that far post. So Dietrich makes a trade for himself, gives up a 6th rounder in 2015 as Capito gets leapfrogged. And it made national news. Not often that you hear a GM saying, yeah, I want myself. So I asked Steve Gubbett, does Philadelphia still own your rights? Tavares' shovel is wide. And he said, not worth a 6th round pick.
He would make the trade. Now, just to be fair, as Richard Morgan is coming down and we've got another delayed call on Buffalo, that may stymie their run a bit. Just to be clear, he's got those rights for an emergency-only situation.
He's the 3rd-string goaltender. Cosmo, Wagger, and then Dietrich.
But it's more of an accounting move. But it's funny because it did make Deadspin.
It made Yahoo, it made MSN. Too many men was the initial call. Priolo disagrees with it. Powell finding his way in, scoring his first in the Mammoth green. Midpoint 3rd quarter, 10-7 Colorado, and going on the man up. Fans, tune into Altitude every Wednesday at 5 p.m. for Mammoth Magazine, your inside connection to the ins and outs of your favorite lacrosse team. Join host Todd Romero every Wednesday at 5 p.m. for extensive game highlights, player profiles, weekly chats with Coach Hamley, and a preview of upcoming games. Altitude Sports, your home of the Colorado Mammoth. Power play number 12 for the Mammoth, as every time that they score on a major, they tack on another attempt. So Colorado 6 for 11 to date. Grant and Powell not on the same page, but the 37-year-old takes it from the 38-year-old. Grant around a pick, found Pollock on the crease, and he couldn't find the handle. 10 to shoot. McBride fakes, Grant in, and Cosmo went down for it.
I thought he was going to knock it in. Look, Cosmo, I don't think wants the ball down there at all when they're on the power
Well, that
play.
was Billy
I don't know
D.
what else to
Smith.
think,
But it looked like Cosmo.
I thought he was going to kick it in on that save, too. He had it between the legs and got it out just before his legs swept it home for the man.
Minute 20 on the too many men. Serving is the in-home player, Chad Culp. Behind the back, McBride on the crease. Probably should have taken that one. Too unselfish as he looked for Jones. Powell, McBride picked off. Watch the wheels of Stainhouse. Powell and Grant hustling back. Priolo, good check by John Grant as the ball up into the net. And Grant, that's the fastest we've seen him get back on a break, maybe in his Mammoth career.
He even got an attempted check-in, and now he's going to stay out there for offense. I thought he might be gassed. He's feeling all right. Yeah. Just a little Saturday night jog, no big deal.
Had quite a workout yesterday at Red Rocks Amphitheater doing some trick shots.
Gorgeous day for it.
Powell shoots, it's wide. Good check by Powell. And no over and back. They'll say it was touched by Buffalo. McNamara takes a whack at Pollock. Obviously a 30-second shot clock violation. Buffalo looks like they'll kill this penalty off. Still no sign of Gallant. We assume he's out for the game now. Dane Smith, soft double. Williams couldn't hold on. McLeod around a Konechny pick. And his stick with ball in it goes flying. I've never seen that one before. Now Culp, fresh out of the box, thinks about it and still doesn't shoot. Chad Culp had a less than stellar Mammoth career, short as it was. But now getting some playing time with Buffalo. Dane Smith, and Belanger reacts at the last moment.
Again, but squared to the shooter. Made a nice move with his stick. Liked his positioning a lot. Again, you start to see reasons why so many in the Mammoth organization were excited about him to start the year.
Delgarno, haven't said his name much, and Pollock's picked off. Jones looking to pick the pocket of Brownwell. Instead, a tripping penalty on Adam Jones as he got tied up. So Adam Jones will serve and give Buffalo the extra attacker for the time being. Buffalo had too many men. The officials didn't see it behind the play. Tavares feeding out of the reach of Hominick. Tavares wants it back, now gets it with 2 to shoot. Feed, touched up by Jones, the guilty party. And he'll go 2 minutes for tripping as Buffalo, which has scored once now on the power play, that coming here in the third quarter, goes on the man advantage once again. Jones so good at taking that ball away and just gets tangled up after his check on Brownwell.
Well, and he put his arms out. I think the arms right there at the end, that's what adds to the trip. It's no longer incidental contact, I don't think, in the official's mind. So
Jones was in earlier for roughing. Tavares circles the wheel. Out of the reach of Aaron Wilson. Hominick looks for the handle. Whistles and a loose ball push on Colorado. Reset it for Buffalo. Under 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. And there's a stoppage on the floor. The Mammoth down a man for the next minute and 41 seconds. 2 straight goals from the Buffalo Bandits. The road team looking for 3 straight. The goalies getting their equipment checked during this timeout. Colorado up by 3 on Buffalo, but down a man for the next minute and change. Avalanche fans, be sure and tune in to Altitude 2 Monday night as your Colorado Avalanche take on the red-hot Chicago Blackhawks. Join Kyle Keefe at 6:30 p.m. for the pregame show to get all the latest news and updates on your Colorado Avalanche and around the NHL right here on your home for Colorado Avalanche hockey. And Andy, if I'm not mistaken, who ended the Blackhawks streak?
Oh, that was the Avalanche. They had a nice little run there. They need to get back on that run again. The building here in Pepsi Center was rocking for that game. The players, and when the players talk a lot about it after the game, you know they enjoyed the environment. Let's hope they can get that again come Monday.
Colorado went on a run. Buffalo has scored 2 straight. Dangerous time for the Mammoth. Hopcroft's shot, Belanger, that one, he made the save on and kind of ducked so that it wouldn't go in the net. It didn't, and Dan Coates with a nice hustle, loose ball. Ahead to Capito, one-on-one. Bodies go flying, incidental contact, says the trail official.
It wasn't incidental, but he's going to let it go. I think there was a late shot by Hopcroft, and then somebody helped Capito. I think Hopcroft hit Coates, and Capito drilled Hopcroft. The official pretty much just said that'll be enough. It looked like there was holding there.
Well, Casey Powell had 2 feet, a body, a head, everything in the crease. We're auctioning all that off here at the game tonight as 48 seconds remain in the Mammoth man down. Hopcroft now plays the point. Williams and Bender the lefties. Smith and Rooney the righties. Hopcroft gets it back, now feeds, little head fakes. Hopcroft steps into one, pass wide of Williams. Bender shoots a Bender, takes another Bender, and a goal by Jamie Rooney. Was there a reset? I saw something from the official down on the crease. Must have been a reset and a power play goal, make it 3 straight for the Buffalo Bandits.
That first shot was nice. He tried it again. And just a nice rebound that time by Rooney. I did not see the clock. There had to be a reset on the second one, didn't there?
Yeah, it was. You could see the reset in the background, and Rooney's second goal on the season in his second game.
Well, that was great reaction by Rooney. He was in a tight space. He did not have a lot of time to set for that. It to be an over and back. And Mammoth got to try to get their momentum back again. But again, this is another one of those 3 quarters that we were a little bit worried about.
Even strength, 5 on 5. McBride has 4. Grant, that shot is well wide. Pollock looks for it and can't handle it. Bounces on the top of the bench board and into Buffalo's area. So a turnover. Grant has 1 tonight. Got a boatload of assists. Smith right at his man, happy feet, and taken away by Coates. Coates loses it. He's gonna have to shovel it over that line just to prevent an 8-second violation. He can't find it in Buffalo with numbers. 4 on 2, Dane Smith feeding Aaron Wilson. He's denied by Belanger. Park was caught up momentarily on defense. Finds his way out of it. Capito 1-on-1 and off the pipe on the shot from Dane Smith. Here goes Chet Konecny. One-handed scoop. He had an assist on a short-handed goal in transition, and he's denied by Cosmo. But a 30-second shot clock reset. Matt McLeod is Johnny on the spot.
Konecny's had a really nice game to the point where you're disappointed he's facing a 4-game suspension.
Well, we'll see what the appeal says. 3 different penalties as Grant is picked off. So much momentum seemingly in the way of the Bandits. Priolo looks for a shot and scores. Steve Priolo is first on the season and 3rd of his career. And Buffalo within 1.
That hurts a little extra if you're a Mammoth fan too, because he's the one that fought with Rory Smith. Rory's in the locker room and Priolo's still playing and putting his team within 1 goal.
Strength and conditioning coach Joel Rather makes a quick appearance to tape up Ty Belanger, and we'll get back to the action.
I feel like there's been better hustle out of the Mammoth. I like what they've done defensively. They moved around well, and yet Buffalo has found a way to just chip away at this lead. They're right back in this game, and another interesting fourth quarter on deck from Pepsi Center.
The Bandits averaged 10.9 a game. Only got 6 a week ago. You knew that would go up tonight as a little swing from Park to free himself. Holding as the Mammoth basically needs to play 4 corners. Grant one-on-one. Cut across. Powell looked for Jones. It ended up being a shot. And a crease violation on Colorado as we approach the minute mark in the third quarter. This time Cosmo takes to the turf for his clear. It's successful with Hopcroft.
Sees Richard Morgan waiting and gonna let someone else trigger the offense.
Tavares in front. Good check McLeod to free it away. Rich Morgan, we say every game he seemingly has one steamroll. He hasn't had it yet tonight. He is appealing his suspension.
How's that appeals process go? Are you familiar with that at all?
Delgardo tucked it in, crease violation. A great give from Pollock, but Delgardo was inside the line, says the official.
I'd love to see a replay of that. It looks close, and Delgarno didn't argue the call, so maybe he knows. Now look, if I'm going to get what I request all the time, I've got a few more for the guys in the truck.
Illegal pick as Colorado will go 6-on-5 to end the third quarter. 4 straight from the Bandits. After the Mammoth reeled off 4 of their own. 3 to shoot. Does Powell see it? Gotta go. Pollock shoots, knocked down Billy D. Smith. 45 minutes of play gone by, and Pollock and the Mammoth with a 1-goal cushion as we head to the fourth quarter. Casey Powell's fired up. Derek Hopcroft in his return to Pepsi Center, this time as a visitor. How about John Grant with the dive shot? The Bandits and the Mammoth, the fourth quarter, next on Altitude. (10-9) Colorado leads Buffalo. 1 quarter of play remaining. As we check in downstairs. That's Connor McGahey checking in with the Mammoth head coach. Pivotal fourth quarter. Hotaling and Thorenbert. Stainhouse with the loose ball. We're at 5-on-5 strength. Haven't been able to say that a ton tonight. Williams flashed to the crease, but not really a dart of an effort.
Tightly called game, and you'd expect that after what ended the game last week.
Culp's shot deflected by the Mammoth defense. They reset the shot clock. There shouldn't have been a reset. Now they finally say shot clock violation. 188 combined penalty minutes last week. Certainly many fewer than that tonight, but 2 defenders out for the Mammoth. Grant looking for help. McBride on the crease, wrap around the world, and he sent it off the boards and to the backside of the net. Throwing on the brakes is Mike Hominick. Correction, Derek Hopcroft. Buffalo in search of the game-tying goal. Lincoln one-on-one defending Hominick, and now a penalty called on Jamie Lincoln. He's in disbelief.
Well, the Mammoth is going to have to learn to get out of the box. This is sort of what bit Buffalo, that allowed Mammoth to build their lead in the second quarter, and now they're falling victim to it. Again, that is a tight call at best.
Buffalo scored twice on the power play. Those coming here in the second half.
I'll say this, though. If the refs are going to call it that tight, that's fine. But then I think they need to start taking a look at some of these late shots and shoves that Buffalo's given some of the players. So
Hopcroft keeps it moving. Tipped by a Mammoth defender. Coates with a little touch-up. Capito and Belanger with the cover-up. Hopcroft just tries to clear out Chet Konechny, who now is in possession of the ball. There's a delayed penalty on Dane Smith as he made contact with the goaltender. Colorado should kill off all 30 right here to bring down that Coates penalty. Grant is frustrated with Priolo, to say the least. Minute 10 in Lincoln's penalty. 2 to shoot. Grant scores at the buzzer. His second of the night. Colorado by 2.
And I think Buffalo just lost him. I think with the extra player out there, because Colorado had pulled their goalie, and really I guess that would have made him even. Now that I think about it, they just lost defensive assignments. Look at the room that John Grant Jr. has, and nobody's going over to take it. I don't know if they didn't think he would shoot the ball, but nobody from Buffalo wanted to go offer defense on him.
Grant with 2 goals and 4 assists. There's a long delay here, because had the Mammoth not scored there and the whistle touch-up, it would have been 4-on-4 strength. Buffalo still doesn't know what to do. And I don't.
Well, the shot wipes out their penalty, correct?
Right.
The goal. So it's still 5-on-4.
Right, the extra attacker doesn't affect it. Hotaling is crushed down, as is Holding.
He's got to have it the wrong way,
yeah.
doesn't he? That's a shove. Come on now. That was an easy call. Culp again getting called.
Well, they got it right, which is the important thing. A minute, now 55 to go in Lincoln's penalty. Holding and McNamara, a little courtship. Powell doing nothing, and he shouldn't. If Buffalo's not going to come out to him, why force the issue down a man? Now a little 4 corners play to Delgarno. Fires one in. Who'd that hit off of? Buffalo? If so, it's Colorado ball with 2 on the shot clock. It resets, and they can basically kill the remainder of Lincoln's penalty. Fortunate it wasn't off a Mammoth player. Jones around the net with Stainhouse on him. Jones right to the goal, and he stepped in the crease. Adam Jones had Anthony Cosmo completely fooled in a play where it looked like Colorado would just kill it off. Instead, Jones turns it over.
Well, they gave him the lane, he took it, but he got shoved in the crease. Smart play by Buffalo.
10 seconds to go in the penalty. Hopcroft feeds Hominick. Left-handed cradle. Hopcroft gets it right back to Hominick. That one wide of the net. Belanger late to react. Out of the box is Lincoln. Even strength. Tavares pushed off his line by Dan Coates. The youngster wins it over the elder.
Good job of just getting a hold of that bottom hand and poking the ball out of his stick.
Grant out of the bench, and he scores! Celebration from number 24, the Mammoth, by a hat trick.
And this is a run we're used to seeing out of the Mammoth in the third quarter. They're getting it in the fourth quarter. Nice job by Junior.
2 straight from the 38-year-old reigning MVP, 7 points on the night. What a way to get St. Patrick's Day weekend going for the Mammoth with a 3-goal cushion. Plenty of lacrosse to go, though. The auction has ended. I'm waiting on the official number. The early tallies were incredible in support of Kroenke Sports Charities. Picked off, Czech Konecny. Pushed ahead to him. Konecny running. Check from behind. Good job to get back defensively by Glenn Bryan. Konecny's now run 3 breaks. He has an assist and twice has been denied.
Is that Cam Holding, though, with the nifty stick work just to spin it away from a couple defenders and get it out for Konecny?
I think it might have been Hotelling, actually. I saw a 2 as the first number. But nothing shabby tonight from Cam Holding. Rich Morgan through 3 black jerseys. Park now, 4 on 3. Park moves his way in, shoots, denied Cosmo. Late man is Lincoln, trying to catch up. Feed Bryan, shot, and Belanger denies him. The air gate move, that one off the net. How about a hand for Ty Belanger from the Mammoth crowd? Now Holding runs the break. A lot of people questioned. You get rid of Chris Levis, then you get rid of Matt Royk. You're going 2 youngster goaltenders. We saw it succeed a year ago, with the Minnesota Swarm, and now they're not having that same success. Ty Belanger, it's early. He hasn't played much, but he looks pretty darn good in goal. Delgarno behind the back. Grant was the cutter. Stainhouse gets the reset to McNamara, the second-year man from Hamilton, Ontario.
Yeah, Priolo roughing up Powell on that last possession. Pretty much just took him on like a block in football, like you'd see the Gunners on a punt return.
McLeod's stick was held, nothing called. Now Carter Bender thinks he has a lane, bulldodges right into McLeod, who stands his ground. In the last, 2 minutes, you've seen why you hit the gym so much if you play in this league. A lot of physical bodies and physical play as Lincoln ahead to Creighton Reed.
Well, we're also seeing it in a time of year where everyone's beat up.
Reed keeps, looks it away, and scores! A transition goal for Creighton Reed, his first on the season. Colorado by 4.
Great job by Creighton Reed. Watch it here. Little pass, he sees he's not going to get taken, so he just decides to keep the ball. Despite the fact that he had Junior with him, Reed had to know he was not going to draw defensive help, so nice job of having the confidence to just take the shot.
You could see John Grant's celebration on the far post. That was quite a smile from him. As a goalie change now for Buffalo, Cosmo pulled. In comes Curtis Wagger. Where's number 38? 290 career minutes, 95 of which have come this season. Buffalo, a late substitution on the faceoff. Holding, trying to gain possession in front of Derek Suddens. Nice loose ball from Holding, whose work should not be overlooked a week ago. His scoring prowess was impressive, but he had 12 loose balls to go along with the 5 points.
Holding has been a great two-way player tonight. He's done some good things when he's been on the offensive end setting picks. He's also played some nice defense, and again, you see his work on the loose balls.
Grant had it tipped away. Jones gets it back. In front, dive shot, the goal. It's not delivery, it's O. Delgarno.
I'm going to let that one breathe a bit for you, Josh.
Delgarno with goals in back-to-back games.
All right, where did that one come from? Have we been thinking about that one a bit? Did that one just come to you? Now you can show me the numbers all you want.
A goal and an assist for Delgarno. I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah, let's hear it.
He didn't play last year.
And you've been waiting to pull it out since then?
2011.
You've had that in the back pocket?
A timeout on the floor. We'll talk more about it on the other side of this break. The Mammoth with its largest lead of the game. Delgarno skies to the air. The Mammoth skies to a 5-goal lead.
There's no way you're not telling.
(14-9) Colorado leads Buffalo thanks to a 4-0 run here in the fourth. Lacrosse fans, pick up your Colorado Mammoth memorabilia and apparel for that special sports fan. Of course, no mercy in the store, as are the Mammoth great-looking jerseys. Stop by Altitude Authentics here at Pepsi Center or log on to Altitude Authentics to shop 24 hours a day. Congratulations to the newlyweds. Little stash action here this evening.
Yeah,
so let's get
right.
back to
please,
it's not delivery.
I need to hear where this came from.
In 2011, at the end of the season, or late in the season, one of the Mammoth players said, "We came up with this at practice or in the locker room. You got to sneak it in." I didn't get a chance the rest of the year. I missed it on his first goal of the season, a little hidden ball trick, as John Tavares just pegs it off of Sean Williams. Reed with 4 career goals coming into the season, make it 5 in a few seasons. Williams snakes his way in, shoved from behind Hopcroft. That one, I'm not sure if it was a save or not. Hopcroft goes over his shoulder, and Belanger makes another save. Lincoln running with Capito and Park. Capito keeps Lincoln one-timer. He sent it wide. Capito takes one up high from John Harrison, back the other way as we're at the midpoint of the fourth quarter.
I know he missed. I don't know that there's a more talented one-time shot player in the league than Jamie Lincoln. I mean, every position he's able to get it off. No matter where he catches the ball, he's got that smooth movement to follow through and get a shot off.
Incredibly athletic as well.
He makes it look so easy, that's the thing, and it's not.
That shovel denied by the Mammoth defense.
Now, if you're Coach Hamley or General Manager Steve Govett, you'd like to see a few more of those hit net. But it's very impressive, the arsenal that he has. You cannot give him any room at all with that ability that he's got.
Delgarno high pass to Powell. His Mammoth debut has been a good one so far. Grant winds up, Wagger with the save.
Yeah, welcome to the ball game. Tell me how that felt.
Extra runners, Buffalo crashing to the crease, and a score. Jamie Rooney ends the Mammoth's 4-0 run. It's Buffalo hitting double digits with 6:36 to go in regulation.
Again, another talented shot by Rooney there. Clearly had Belanger fooled. He was leaning both ways. That's the second one for Rooney tonight. His first one, of course, was on that hop. Great reaction time.
This numbers for Buffalo, and the defense didn't find the man closest to the cage.
Looked a little close, but it's definitely in there. He almost stepped down, but again, nice job by Rooney. Clearly had Belanger fooled.
No challenges yet tonight from either side. A delayed penalty against Colorado.
Well, I'm curious to see who goes off for this.
6-on-5 Bandits. Tavares, you can't give him that much room. Feed across crease, and Belanger very casually. Here it is.
A little Patrick Waugh. That was Patrick Waugh with the glove hand. You remember that? You make a save up top, and you just hold it there for a second, give you a look.
Cam Holding will sit for Colorado.
See, I don't agree with that call. I saw those two engaged. He's getting called for holding the stick. But there was some he's going to call the cross check, but you can see it. This is a look at the save that time by Belanger, but this started at the beginning of the possession. The call that time on holding.
His second penalty on the season. Buffalo looking for power play goal number 3.
Holding was jostling with the player from Buffalo. They came in, they were really having some contact with each other, and again, Colorado gets called for it.
Aaron Wilson denied 3 yards in front of the crease. Joey Capito, at the urging of his bench, throws on the brakes. Brownwell, I don't know if he knows what he's in for here with Joey Capito. I wouldn't get too close.
I was about to say, you better leave him a bit of a halo. Capito's got the quick change of direction.
Staying back at the other end, Tavares, and so Coates stays with him. So it's effectively a 3-on-4 right here. It won't affect it as Colorado happy to dump in the corner.
But I think right there, of course, it's Adam Jones, so what do you have to lose? But again, you've got a situation where the Mammoth lets somebody else take the ball. Don't dump it to Junior. Don't make him take the pounding when you know you're not even going to make a serious attempt at a shot.
55 seconds remaining in the penalty. Hopcroft steps into one and scores.
Again, that kid has got a trigger.
3 goals, 2 assists tonight. An interesting trade from the Mammoth to Buffalo is basically the more he plays, the better draft pick Colorado gets. And with performances like tonight, you have to think he's going to see some action late in the season.
Yeah, Colorado's got to be careful. Don't allow another run. But again, the power that he gets behind that shot with such a little windup.
Yeah, people look at Paul Rabel with that 111-mile-an-hour shot, and you could say, hey, I want to shoot like Paul Rabel. You also have to be blessed with his size. But let's face it, Derek Hopcroft proves that you don't need to be huge to shoot hard.
Well, and in this league, that is the ideal kind of shot. To generate that much speed without having to wind up and drop your stick.
Yeah, the goalie stands no chance. Powell dive to the net. Wagger split save. Ball loose on the turf, and Adam Jones, after battling with Sean Pollock for it, comes away with it.
There's just a different kind of energy, in my opinion, from this Mammoth team tonight about getting those loose balls. They're not giving up on any plays, any rebounds.
Powell behind the back. McBride shoots. Wagger with the save. Out of the reach of Grant. Powell taps it back to him.
Shot clock reset.
We're inside 4 minutes to go in regulation.
Look how they're spreading out. Again, I love the ball movement tonight by the Mammoth.
Grant shoots and Wagger goes low for it. Grant has all 3 in the second half. Derek Sutton's 12th year, John Grant Jr. in his 13th. Reacquaint.
See if Wagger continues to show this sort of.
Jarrett Park picks it off. Sandwiched. And as the ham of the bread spins out.
Wagger looks like he has a tendency to guess low on the shot so far. Let's see if that continues and if the Mammoth maybe don't start to shoot high.
Colorado very late getting on as they'll keep Dan Coates at midfield. Really not looking to score here, just trying to prevent breaks the other way and over and backs.
And we got Dane Smith and Konechny kind of squaring up again as Junior goes down.
I'll tell you what, you don't like to see him go down, but they did use the full shot clock. 3:01 remaining in regulation. 3 minutes left, 3-goal lead for the Mammoth. The conclusion is next here on Altitude. Leads the Bandits by 1 with 3:01 to go in the fourth quarter. Colorado defeated Buffalo 12-6 at First Niagara Center a week ago. Fans, tonight's Colorado Mammoth telecast is being brought to you by your local Ford stores. Visit thinkfordnow.com. Back to full strength, back to even play. Tavares, Williams, and Hominick are the lefties. Hopcroft and Rooney the righties. Buffalo in need of 3. Hominick, tight feed that gets through. Wagger back out there. Williams scores. Sean Williams cuts that Mammoth lead to 2 with 2:42 remaining. His second on the night.
Dangerous spot, dangerous period here for the Colorado Mammoth. You talked about it. They've been in this spot before. They didn't finish out the third quarter the way that you want. Let's see if they can hold it up here. Buffalo just won't go away.
Well, and this is a team that in their building some years ago, the Mammoth trailed by 4 with 1:40 left and won in overtime. So plenty of lacrosse left as Holding couldn't free that one. Wagger will trot off again. It'll be 6-on-5 for Buffalo. Not sure if that last goal counted as extra attacker, as Wagger was just getting to the bench by the time Williams' shot went in. Tavares. Wilson was cutting in. He was denied by Belanger. Crashing is Konechny. Hominick feeds inside. Nice save by the Mammoth netminder. Reset on the crease, goal. Mike Hominick makes it 2 goals in 44 seconds for Buffalo. The Bandits are within 1.
Hominick found some space, and I don't know what he did to free himself up, but it looks like something upset Dan Coates here.
Well, he got shoved out of the way.
And again, just nice movement by Buffalo, and Coates without his stick again. Until he took a big shot. I think what the players are a little frustrated about is the fact that the small stuff seems to be called, but not all the time.
They will review the play inside 2 minutes. So while there were no challenges by the coaches in the game, the officials will take another look to see if Hominick or his teammates violated the crease area.
Got to look at Hotaling, the new face-off man for Colorado tonight. They could really use a win from him right now as they try to preserve a 1-goal lead. It's been a game of runs here in the fourth quarter. I'll say this though, Josh, fun lacrosse game tonight. Fun lacrosse game, been the energy, there's been some high tempers. It's just been fun to watch. Now, there's no area where I think he stepped in the crease. If it came, it would have had to come before that point in the shot that we saw right there. So
well, it's not just him, it's also his teammates.
Well, that's a good point. But see, there's the shove. That's what they're upset about. So we finally see Williams just shoved down from behind Dan Coates. And Coates has no chance to get up. I mean, credit Hominick for realizing what had happened there and making the nice cut. But Coates was shoved on. You see he's getting up from the shove. There's Williams now, top of the crease, but he just went over the back of Coates. That's what Coates was complaining about.
Expect this one to stand. It does.
Coates is going to bring a shillelagh out there next time to start whacking shins.
Key face-off. Hotaling has won 12 of the 26 he's taken. Capito overruns a loose ball. It's in front of us by the penalty box, and now Capito, who didn't get it the first time, keeps up that effort and gets it the second. Pass over to Park. Looks for spacing from Holding and gets it. Fans on their feet. Halfway through the shot clock. $1:30 to go in regulation. Grant one-on-one Stainhouse. Gets Wagger to bite, but shot it low where Wagger was. 80 seconds remaining. Huge chance of defense inside this building. Whistles and a timeout called by Buffalo. 71 seconds remaining in regulation. Darius Kilgore looks for the draw plan. Dan Teton, his second year as assistant coach. He's the offensive coach He'll create the play.
Okay, here's the situation, though. Rory Smith going all the way back to the fourth quarter. You got a lot of big bodies out there. You want Rory Smith in the game. That's your best defender right now.
Yep.
And he's in the locker room. And again, and I'm sorry, I don't see how he got the instigator. And Gallant's hurt as well, and hopefully that's not a long-term injury, because that looked like Gallant was in a lot of pain. We haven't even seen him return to the bench, but you just talked about the trickle-down effect. Even though it's early in the game, it's still, if you're a Mammoth fan, that one just kind of sticks in your craw that you've got your guy tossed out of the game in a critical situation approaching.
Well, 2 defenders down is Colorado. You dress more defenders than you do forwards. Wagger will vacate his crease as Buffalo will bring on the extra attacker once again. Nothing to lose right now. A lot of green in the crowd tonight. Manny, one of the great Mammoth season ticket holders, with the chant of "Let's go Mammoth." They put 3 seconds back on the clock, did the officials. Tavares cut in, it was taken away. Rich Morgan just pushing his way through. Empty net still. Morgan keeping it. Moving in, he's tripped from behind, and that should actually be an automatic goal for Colorado.
Well, I hope Morgan's okay. You talked about him being the bulldozer. Does that count?
Wow, he just ran through bodies left and right.
I think
He's still down, as is Jamie Rooney, now both to their feet. It should be an automatic goal with an empty net and a breakaway. Shouldn't even be a penalty shot, I don't believe.
and that's just a tackle.
Yeah, Morgan is a football-sized player, a big one at that, but just the bear hug on him.
He gets it out of his stick just a touch quicker. That might be a goal. Just took a big hop.
It is.
There it is. You're right. It's a goal
empty
anyway.
net and a transition opportunity unimpeded. So Colorado back up by 2. For Morgan, his 5th on the season, even though it didn't go in.
Wow, that was a one-man wrecking crew. How about that highlight for Rich Morgan?
A man who, again, is one of the ones who faces suspension and appealed. So he makes his impact felt here with 55 seconds remaining. There was a discussion by the officials. I think they got it right. Wagger will be out again. I see one official. Okay, here's the other one coming out of the box. There will be a face-off. Empty net Buffalo trailing by 2. On the field after the game, the presentation of jerseys, helmets, and shorts to those who helped support Kroenke Sports Charities and its mission to help youth lacrosse in the local area. Holding sprints the length of the restraining lines, and Buffalo needs an extra man. Surprised they allowed Buffalo to bring that man on. 58 seconds remaining is what they say. Hotaling looks for the clean win and has it. Hotaling in his Mammoth debut, is that the dagger?
How about that for Hotaling? And you feel good for him. Ryan Hotaling. Kind of a rough night on face-offs at times for him, but he gets the most important one of the game and gets to celebrate with a goal, and now Buffalo will put the full allotment back on the field. Goalies come back on. They had lined up with 0 players in the defensive zone. Everybody in the offensive zone. How about your guy, Hotaling? 1 goal, 2 assists.
It'll go to review once again.
And Hotaling's a little bit out of breath after the wrestling match for the face-off, and now
It looked like he
cloud out
saved
there.
his best move for crunch time. A little sweet move to free the ball. I got a good look earlier today before the University of Denver Notre Dame game.
which unfortunately they lost in overtime.
Yeah,
DU.
at the beauty of the face-off. And you saw the DU players. I was right down a few feet from them. In their skills, their practice, their warm-ups. 3 face-off men taking it as Ty Belanger looks like he'll get a breather the rest of the way. And barring the unthinkable, he'll be the victor tonight. The goal stands. Dan Lewis coming in. He's officially 0-3 on the season. 12-13 goals against average and a .746 save percentage. procedure called against Matt McLeod intentionally, just so Colorado can set the defense. Tavares' feet is tipped by the Mammoth defense, and Lewis trots out for it. Jared Park, his Syracuse Orange lacrosse team, won earlier today. The basketball team lost to Louisville. He leaves ahead to Joey Capito, a little jump around at the loudest house in lacrosse. The Mammoth for years led the NLL in attendance. They've given up that record to Buffalo the last few seasons, but it looks like Colorado should take the outright lead this year. Turnover forced by McLeod, inside 20 seconds to go. The luck of the Irish may be here tonight on display at Pepsi Center. It's the Mammoth, which will win 2 straight, both against Buffalo, and improve to 4-7 on the season. Colorado 16-13 over the Bandits. And now fighting at the end of the game.
Steenhouse and Pollock. Pollock gave him a couple checks because he wasn't going to just let him go in there and take a free shot. Steenhouse got upset about it. I don't know what he expected. He looked like he was attempting to go take a shot at the goalie. And Pollock just let him know it's not going to be free. He walks off. There'll be no incidents tonight.
Well, they just put Steenhouse to the locker room, so he won't even shake hands. There was talk about the lack of a handshake last week between these teams. And the Mammoth victorious. Hugs from Cam Holding to Sean Williams. There's a lot of respect between these guys. John Grant became the 5th player in NLL history to reach 1,000 career points last season. Williams did it a few games later. Those two the best of friends, and in fact, Grant says Williams is his favorite teammate of all time. They played for a decade in Buffalo, and Williams actually was the Champions Cup MVP in the title game.
Look, this has been a fun couple weekends of lacrosse. There's been great energy in there. Been hearing from a Buffalo fan on Twitter. I mean, look, that's fun. That's what you like, right? This is what the league needs more of, and it's just going to continue. The angry month is just going to continue as the Mammoth head to Calgary next week and then return home in 2 weeks to face off against Philadelphia. But a lot of great energy in this building tonight and a fun lacrosse game to watch.
The Mammoth gets 4 goals from Jordan McBride this evening. Also gets 3 goals and 5 assists from John Grant Jr. Handshakes and hugs all around. And a victory lap for Colorado.
A lot of great energy, though, out of the Mammoth squad. Look, we talked about trying to put a run together before you head to the playoffs, and hopefully the Mammoth get there. But what they did tonight, again, you've got to package up this tape, and you've got to watch it. And everyone's got to bring that same energy. The loose ball energy was incredible. Everybody was getting on those loose balls. They were desperate to win possessions. That's what you've got to have. And good speed. You saw some of the young legs coming into play tonight, in my opinion, too. Able to get to the corners and win the individual battles. That's what they did tonight. And beautiful movement offensively.
3 goals and 5 assists from John Grant Jr. Check in now with Connor McGahey with tonight's Man of Steel. Casey Powell, tonight's Man of Steel, a goal and 5 assists to go along with 4 loose balls. We'll step aside the Mammoth postgame show on Altitude when we return. Colorado 16, Buffalo 13. Back in a moment. We're back at Pepsi Center, 16-13. Colorado defeats Buffalo. It's jerseys, helmets, and shorts off our bodies, I guess. And Andy, what impressed you most about tonight's game?
I just laid it out. The hustle displayed by the role players, the transition players. Just, I don't know, Jordan McBride. So many good shots tonight, taking advantage of the space that Casey Powell gave him. Casey Powell coming in and gelling with his teammates right away, but it's about the energy, the effort, and the desperation to possess the ball, and the way they shared the ball offensively. There's a lot of things. And look, how can we get out of this without talking about Ty Belanger? 2 back-to-back good efforts from a Mammoth goalie. That's big.
Yeah, you see 13 goals against, you say, but he was good. Take a look at final stats brought to you by our friends at American Furniture Warehouse. And really, special teams are what stood out to me. Those 6 power play goals, 4 of them coming in 5-minute major, maybe 5 coming in 5-minute majors.
Yeah, well, they had 3 on their first 5-minute major,
Right.
and they took advantage of that again, thanks to Casey Powell, Jordan McBride working well together. Sean Pollock got some nice shots off, and then Junior and Adam Jones doing their things towards the end when they needed them to. But you're right, they've got to keep that kind of spacing and effort up on the power play.
The Mammoth plus 26 in loose balls on the evening. So Colorado improving to 4-7 on the season. Buffalo dropping below 500. The Mammoth's next telecast is against the Calgary Roughnecks, a team Colorado doesn't like very much, and one that they stole when they were up there at Scotiabank Saddledome back in January, trailing by, 3 or 4 in the latter stages of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, look, and the Mammoth owe them one. They need to look at it that way and bring the kind of energy and intensity they had to this game to that game. Shouldn't be hard.
That game will be the tiebreaker. The team's tied at 1 this year. For Andy Lindahl, our production crew, I'm Josh Gross saying so long from Pepsi Center, where the Mammoth has beaten the Bandits by a final score of 16-13. Be sure and join us on Monday, March 25th at 1 p.m. as the Mammoth travels north of the border to take on Sean Evans and the Calgary Roughnecks. Tonight's telecast has been a production of Altitude Sports and Entertainment and is a copyrighted telecast of the National Lacrosse League, which may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NLL. Casey Powell, tonight's Man of Steel, scoring in his Mammoth debut. Be safe out there for St. Patrick's Day.